I feel like it's the most important election that I've ever been a part of.
After months of waiting, Election Day is finally here. At the top of the ticket, the fight for the White House.
We are going to win back the White House.
Power to change this country is in your hands.
In Missouri, voters are choosing the next governor, and in Kansas, they're sending a new senator to Washington.
Every vote matters, so I thought I'd get mine in and contribute to this new election.
Kansas Cityans and voters across the country are turning out like never before. Your 2020 commitment coverage starts right now. It is Election Day in America, and polls are open on both sides of the state line. We are just an hour away from the first polls closing in our area at 7 o'clock. If you are in line before then, you can still cast your vote. Good evening, I'm Laura Moritz.
And I'm Chris Katz. Almost 100 million voters voted before today, with millions lining up later today at polling places all over the country. We have team coverage across Kansas and Missouri tonight with decades of experience covering the races for this special hour-long edition of KMBC 9 News. Now, the presidential race has been like no other, with the pandemic changing everything from the conventions to debates to certainly Election Day itself. The Democrat, former Vice President Joe Biden, ahead in many national polls coming into today, starting his day campaigning with members of the local Carpenters Union in his hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania. The president's final rally ended well after midnight in Grand Rapids, Michigan, a key battleground state he won in 2016. The president will be sticking close to D.C. today, though he visited the RNC headquarters in Virginia this afternoon.
In Kansas, voters are ushering in a new era in the Sunflower State. After decades in Washington, Senator Pat Roberts is retiring, creating a huge battle for his seat. Two doctors are on the ballot, Republican Congressman Roger Marshall and Democrat Barbara Bollier, who is currently a state senator. Our Haley Harrison is live with her campaign in Overland Park. Haley?
Well, good evening. It has been a very long time since the state of Kansas sent a Democrat to the United States Senate. How long, you ask? Well, it's been so long that the Wizard of Oz hadn't even come out in movie theaters the last time. 1932 was the year, 88 years ago. And many political observers have noted that there are quite a few parallels between what was happening in the United States of America now and then. Take a look at this. President Herbert Hoover was in his first term in office facing a national crisis, the Great Depression. FDR ended up winning that race in a landslide, promising the New Deal and unprecedented federal spending. And Kansas ended up sending a Democrat to the United States Senate that year. I asked Barbara Bollier about all of this history and the parallels that exist. She says she knows this history. She also knows that history can repeat itself. But the fact is that this is a very different race, a very different time, and two very different candidates in the state of Kansas. 538 tonight showing that Roger Marshall is favored to win this race. But for Democrats, for the first time in a long time, this Senate race has been competitive. We will be covering it all for you tonight from the Overland Park Convention Center. Reporting live, Haley Harrison, KMBC 9 News.
Bollier's opponent, Roger Marshall, the Republican holding his watch party in Topeka tonight, and our Emily Hallwick is there. Emily?
So a Republican has held this Kansas Senate seat for more than 80 years now, and Dr. Roger Marshall is hoping to keep it that way. Here at the Cyrus Hotel in Topeka is where the Kansas GOP is going to be having their watch party. Marshall will be here watching those results come in tonight. Now, Dr. Marshall is a two-term congressman in the U.S. House Representative for Kansas 1st District. This morning, he voted in his hometown of Great Bend, Kansas, where he's been an OBGYN for 25 years. He serves on the House Committee on Agriculture, which he hopes will translate into taking retiring Senator Pat Roberts' seat on the Senate Agriculture Committee. Polls have shown a tight race between Marshall and Democrat Barbara Bollier. A recent poll from the New York Times and Siena College gave Marshall a 46-42% lead, just outside the survey's margin of error. Polling analytics site 538 says Marshall's favored to win with a projected vote share of 51% to Bollier's 46%. Now, Bollier has far outspent Marshall in this campaign in total. She has raised more than $20 million, while Marshall has raised about $8 million for the entire year, but he told me he is still confident.
So just the cash advantage they had on us was enormous, but our grassroots is going to come through. The folks from Kansas Farm Bureau, the Kansans for Life, Kansas Livestock Association, all those people out beating the doors and sending out mailers, all those county GOP chairmen out there doing the hand-to-hand combat's what's going to carry us through the finish line.
So, of course, it all comes down to tonight. We're going to be here in Topeka bringing you the results and reaction as it all unfolds tonight. Reporting live in Topeka, Emily Hallwick, KMBC 9 News.
The Libertarian candidate in the race is Jason Buckley from Overland Park. The Navy veteran lists his top priorities as health care and criminal justice reform and ending corporate welfare.
In Missouri, the biggest race is for governor, where GOP Governor Mike Parson is running for his first full term against Democratic State Auditor Nicole Galloway. The pandemic and big city crime are two of the big campaign issues here. KMBC 9's Kelly Eckerman is with the Parson campaign in Springfield right now. Kelly.
Chris, we're live in the ballroom here at the Bass Pro Complex, and as you mentioned, this is Governor Parson's chance for a full term in office, running against Democrat Nicole Galloway. Now, he took this office in 2018 when Greitens resigned. He has been busy on a cross-state bus tour. Both he and his opponent have been campaigning very aggressively this past week. And it has been a very competitive race for these two, much more competitive than what political analysts had predicted. Going into tonight, the governor is leading in the polls, however, only by single digits. Now, they both attacked each other's ethics in TV ads in the recent weeks. The handling of the pandemic, though, has become one of the really big issues. Governor Parson has been against any kind of mandates. His opponent disagrees with that. Even as we have seen the number of COVID cases rising, the governor insists he wants to leave those kind of decisions up to Missourians, that he trusts them to make good decisions. This party is set to get underway in less than an hour now. It is a room filled with tables, but as you know, many candidates have chosen not to have traditional watch parties. This one has been set up with COVID-19 precautions in mind. We're going to give you a tour, show you what they've done here to take those precautions, coming up a little bit later in this newscast. We'll be here watching the results come in. Back to you, Larry, Laura and Chris.
Democrat Nicole Galloway will be with her supporters in Columbia tonight. KMBC 9's Bianca Beltran is there right now. Bianca?
And Chris, without a watch party full of supporters, there won't be that typical meet and greet with the candidate that we're used to seeing on election night, or the anticipation as the results are announced, at least not in this room. This ballroom in the Tiger Hotel is for media and campaign staff only. Although earlier today, Nicole Galloway did get a chance to greet voters while visiting polling sites in St. Louis. She got a chance to greet the voters there. And as you mentioned, Chris, public safety is a big issue for voters, especially in this race. And I had a chance to speak to Nicole Galloway's senior advisor about how Governor Parson associates Nicole Galloway with the movement to defund the police. Galloway has refuted that claim, and her advisor says that their approach to public safety comes from conversations with legislators, with civil rights organizations, and business leaders, as well as university professors. He describes it as a holistic approach addressing the root factors of crime. And so he says that claim is not accurate, and that police and gun laws are also a part of that plan, but reiterating that public safety is an issue that is important for voters in Missouri. Chris?
Well, Rick Combs is the Libertarian candidate for governor in this race. He's an Air Force veteran focusing on cutting taxes and government spending and protecting private property. Jerome Bauer is the Green Party candidate, a proponent of a single-payer health care system funded by a tax on Wall Street.
This year, Americans are shattering records for early voting. This is video of the line yesterday in Johnson County. Across the country, more than 100 million ballots have already been cast. Those votes represent 47% of registered voters nationwide. And we know 21 states and Washington, D.C. have seen more than half of their registered voters cast ballots already.
Missouri election officials are predicting the state's largest voter turnout in years. More than 3.2 million Missourians are expected to cast ballots. And if predictions come true, it would be Missouri's highest turnout since 1992, when 78% of registered voters cast ballots in a presidential election won by Bill Clinton. The number of registered voters has grown considerably since then. The most ballots cast in Missouri, 2.9 million in that 2008 election. Kansans are going to the polls in big numbers, especially when it comes to advance voting. And as of Sunday, the Secretary of State's office said more than 770,000 voters had returned mail-in or advance in-person ballots. Another 348,000 voted in person at advanced polling sites.
Here in the metro, local election officials are dealing with people who have tested positive for COVID-19 and need to vote.
KMBC 9's Matt Fleener is at the Kansas City, Missouri Election Board office at Union Station. Matt?
Chris, Laura, first thing I should point out is that the people standing back here, these poll workers, are doing heroes work. Pretty incredible, since we've seen quite a line here at Union Station today. after the Kansas City Election Board sent out a reminder for any COVID-19 positive patient or anybody who's been exposed to come here and vote curbside. Now, that goes against what the Missouri Voter Protection Coalition, a nonpartisan coalition, actually demanded of the election board late last week, saying any voter who tested positive should be able to go to their polling place to vote curbside. Now, the election board says it did not require COVID voters to come here, but they highly encouraged them. We spoke with an election protection volunteer today, along with the Republican director of the election board.
A lot of the folks have been told that if they're COVID positive, they should come here. So I don't know if that's a miscommunication. I don't know where that interpretation has come from.
If you're positive for COVID-19, you go up to a polling place and they're curbside. Will their vote be counted?
Sure. It's just unfair. It's not, in my opinion, and in our board's opinion, it's not very wise. We don't want to get people infected. We're able to handle it down here.
Quite a unique challenge as we are voting in the middle of a global pandemic. Of course, this curbside line will be open until 7 p.m. tonight. We'll be watching for any more issues as they develop throughout the night. Matt Fleener, KMBC 9 News.
Officials with the National World War I Museum and Liberty Memorial scrambled to cover up vandalism before the polls opened this morning. Museum officials say a small group of people defaced stonework at the National Memorial overnight using red spray paint to write "Don't Vote" and showing the hammer and sickle symbol. The museum says it is honored to be a polling location for today's election and condemns the attempt at voter intimidation.
The Jackson County Prosecutor's Office is also looking out for complaints of voter fraud. You can call the Public Corruption Unit at 816-881-1357. Calls will be taken while the polls are open.